I just want to do this one that is kind of, because this is something I talk about it a lot, but I feel like I can't talk about it enough because of our hidden history and stuff like that. And, I knew ever since I was a little kid that the aliens that we were an experiment, that we were being like tested on, and we were like a zoo and stuff, like what we think of as a zoo with the animals, that's what we are. We were like animals for a more higher species. And they were telling me that when I was a little kid, and I've talked about it before, that I was trying to tell people things because they would be talking about, it was when I was a kid and back in the 60s and in the 70s and stuff, it was very religious. You had these people from the parents that came from like the depression and stuff, and everybody was very you know life was, you socialized with your friends Friday or Saturday night, and you went to church on Sundays, you went to work. It was very just like what they show in the movies. It was just like simple life. But people were very, very religious back then. And so when they would be talking about stuff, and I would try and interject what I was being told in my head, which I didn't realize everybody is hearing stuff in their head, or they just haven't figured out how to decipher between what they think is their thoughts and what is communication. But I could definitely hear because they would tell me things like, just like what I said. When the very first time when I can remember noticing was when they told me I was going to get in trouble for putting soap in my brother's water. And, they were always watching out for me. So I trusted them. I always trusted them. I just stopped talking about things that everybody thought I was crazy about. So I stopped talking so much about it. But I always, if I would do a lot of road trips and stuff with my kids when they were little, and I would always tell everybody, that I was out looking for the aliens, and I'm always watching the sky. And when I go camping, I got to go out and look for Bigfoot. And so, I never hid who I was, but I quit trying to think that there was somebody out there who could have a conversation with me about it. Everybody just be like, okay, like nobody. Even when I talk to people and they'd be like, oh, well, Stephen Hawking, he said there's no aliens. It's like, what? So you just believe this guy? Well, he's a scientist. Okay, so I don't know. You got to get with the idea that not all scientists are science oriented. A lot of them are the paycheck. Yeah, we'll say whatever the fuck to get rich. Don't give a shit. And the ones who do speak out and tell the truth, our prisons are full of them. It's not just black people filled up in the prisons. We also got whistleblowers and people who have been out there trying to help humanity with cures and stuff. They put those people in jail too. Their system is as corrupt as it can be. They are definitely racist. They're putting their beliefs on us, trying to say that it's coming from within us, but it's not. We just see what you're doing, and we recognize the fact that you're a bunch of racists. And yeah, you do want to, genocide all these little babies in these communities. You want all of the dads to be in prison. You want all these women to fail. Like, you think we don't see what's going on here? You're not hiding it very well anymore. We may have all been all stuck in our, rat race for a long time, but luckily 2020 happened and everybody had some time to be off work and start noticing what the fuck is going on. So, anyways, but when I was, she's stretching. Oh, she's gonna put her little head on my knee. When she does that, it's so sweet. She'll just put her little head on my leg and just look up at me and just like, oh, Mom. Oh, so cute. I love it. Anyways, and poor Stella, she gets just Aunt Shirley'd all the time by me. Just got to be like giving her little squeezes and kisses over. But okay, so anyways, back to the thing. So when I stopped talking about it so much, but it was after, I'm trying to think if it was when I was, because after my brain injury, I wasn't completely left alone because I got into a relationship and I was with that person for a few years, and it was part of my descend into hopelessness. It was part of the whole thing to bring me to where I am now. But yeah, that was a rough time. But when, it must have been when he was gone, that's when it opened me up more to seeing stuff or something. But somehow, anyways, I found a show called Ancient Aliens, and I started watching that show. And then that's how I found David Wilcock, and then I found Corey Good. And so life took me into a place where I started finding people that were talking about what they were telling me in my head. And so that's how I got more involved with like following disclosure stuff. You know, if those people were talking or there was a conference, I've tried to go to the conferences. It's harder when you have dogs, though. I want to go to SETI Ranch so bad, but you can't take dogs. Anyways, so once I started finding these other people that were giving me confirmation of what I was hearing in my head, and you know, it gives more trust to what they're telling you. And I've talked about this a bunch of times, that so many times they'll tell me stuff and I'll just feel like, oh my God. Especially sometimes I'll talk about something and then I'll just feel like, oh my God, am I just crazy? Maybe I'm just crazy. I'm just putting myself out there and I'm just going to be like a crazy person in the world. Just, you know, documented their craziness. And then they will bring something to me, like will pop up somewhere in my life and it will confirm everything that they have been telling me or what has been said. So, you know, that they have ways of always confirming it, but I've just gotten to the point of with certain things, some things which I'll talk about later, is still a definite battle of trying to be like trust. And it's weird because it's about your own self. It's like they'll be telling you something about your future and it'll just be like, sometimes things are hard to grasp, you know. And it's like, why is it hard to grasp? Why can't we just believe anything is possible, you know? But that's all of the limitations that somehow we've been programmed to accept. Limitations and not believing anything is possible. So, and it's weird because I'm one of those people who usually believes anything is possible. I believe in all supernatural stuff and everything. And I've always been more of a yes man to those kinds of things where other people like didn't believe in anything. And so, I don't know. But as far as, you know, and you can go in and you can read, there's tons of people now that you can find who talk about it. And like I've talked about, like I like to watch channelers, and I don't watch them all the time, but I do like to see what other people are saying, because to see like if it matches me, like it's people I don't know at all. So, you know, how are we getting the same information? Well, I say because there's communication, and it's where you tap in, where you put your energy, what you connect with. And if you have no awareness of how you're connecting with your energy and stuff, you can be connecting to energy that's very negative and destructive in your life, and very negative and destructive in your own being, because it will tell you to do things that are not good ideas. And if you think it's coming from within you and you don't have the ability to recognize that there's some communication and you have free will and you don't have to, you can block it out and say, no, I don't think that's a good idea to do that. Just like when I put the soap in my brother's water. They told me, don't do that, you're going to get in trouble. And I was only like 4. And that is, you know, that's how my guides were watching out for me. So if you have ones that are telling you, like, those wouldn't be your guides, for one thing. That would be you've tapped into some sort of negative energy. If it's telling you to do something that's ever going to hurt somebody else or something, that's not a positive energy. And, I'm not saying like we don't need negative energy, we don't need bad energy, but I'm saying that if you're tapped into that type of energy and you are reacting in those kinds of ways, that you will ultimately be the person who will feel bad. So it's going to create these feelings inside of you that will be harder to carry. So that's why I'm saying, that to have that awareness of that type of energy that you are tapped into. Because, and I was just talking to somebody else, and they see the thing of what I've talked about with the mentally ill too, of that there's people out there who they are just gifted. It's not like that they have something wrong, but they're being directed wrong of how to deal with it because they can make a lot of money off of it. And they don't want people realizing that there is this whole spiritual world out there that's communicating with us. But, if you're trying to look and see about our real history and stuff, as far as I've always understood it, is that we are here as a science project, that we have been manipulated with our DNA and stuff. We've been watched this whole entire time, and it all has aligned with what I have understood now with the ascension and with the event, because it all just starts making sense. Like I told you before, like all of the pieces all of a sudden started going together. And now I see what is happening for our consciousness, for our souls, and the expansion that's happening on Earth and for humanity. And so it's super, super exciting. But any of the stuff, if you think like that the history is like the Bible and stuff, because even when people would be talking about Adam and Eve, I remember being in church one time and people are talking about Adam and Eve, and in my head I'm just hearing, yeah, Adam and Eve would only have been here if they came on the spaceship, like that's the lies that have been perpetuated to us for so long. Like why? Like why have the lies gotten so big and so deep? It's just it's crazy. So anyways, if you're really trying to understand more about it, then look more into the stuff about aliens. Look more into like the archaeologists that are being restricted and laughed at, that are trying to get the real information out there of digs and stuff they're finding that throws away all of the bullshit that we've been told, but they don't want us to know about that. So you have to go in and you have to look up information. You have to start trusting that the information that you're finding out there is truthful, because they want us to doubt anything that is I don't know, supernatural, or anything that is not of the three-dimensional plane, that we are being so massively manipulated. So anyways, if you are looking for those kinds of things, look towards that. Look towards, Gaia Channel has got so much information. That's a good channel to go and look at. But, as far as I'm concerned, religion is part of the paradigms that are going to be broke, because the religion was created to control us. And it may have some facts, but it doesn't have all of it, because it's all been manipulated and lied. Even, the Vatican, the main manipulators out there, they edited that book, and they changed it, and they changed it all for them to have control over us. So, I feel bad for everybody who puts so much faith into that book, and they believe so much of this fairy tale of this, in the heavens, these other the whole world is not three-dimensional. That is just this experience. And, not everything is of this type of matter and stuff. So, I don't know. It's, it's hard for me to even understand all of this stuff. And I can see it. Like they show me and tell me things. And they show me like every single thing that I get shown like way further, bigger. And so, I don't know, sometimes it's a lot for my brain to take in, especially I got a broken brain. So, but, you know, you can have a broken brain and it still works. Just like you can have a broken body and it can still work. Well, I've always thought it was horrible, those neurological ones where their body freezes and then their brain keeps going. It's like, oh, God, that's like freaking the worst. It sounds so like prison. But, you know, I mean, really, your consciousness can leave there. You know, you don't have to stay. I do find that being alone, I'm constantly going into, what is that called again? I forgot. I'm constantly going into the, I've just completely gone blank. You know, when you go and you go and sit and relax with your brain. It keeps hearing manifest, 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 and that's not the word I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that word where you relax, you can have someone talking, telling you how to relax. Meditation. Oh, manifestation. God, I was so stuck. Manifestation, manifestation. Like, that's not it. Meditation. Okay, so yeah, I can slip in and out of it really easy. I've even said, you know, it scares me like when I'm driving because I'll all of a sudden realize like I'm completely, like my brain is deep and I'm deep in it. Okay, well, somebody's here, so I will talk to you later. I told you I'm never alone. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.